Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on here real quick as we get into today's video. We're going to be doing our instructor series here where I'll be traveling around talking with different instructors. Not only so you can get just a little bit of a different face in front of you, but you know, hey, I like to try to learn from these people as well as I'm going through and trying to become a better instructor. So we'll be here in Illinois. We'll be some other places as well. Hopefully you enjoy this. I'd love to hear what you think of the series. You know, comment down below, let us know what you think. And as always, click that subscribe button. Today, we're going to start off with Mike Carbray. He's here in Oak Brook, Illinois. He is the director of instruction at Butterfield Country Club. Great instructor. We're heading to his Journey to Better studio, which is right near Oak Brook. And that's going to be where we go today to learn a little bit about some different topics that I think are really important in the game of golf. So again, I'll put Mike's info down below. Make sure you go check him out. And without further ado, here's our instructor series. All right, everybody, we're here. We are at the Journey to Better studio with Mike Carbray, PGA member. He's also the director of instruction at Butterfield Country Club, Golf Digest Best in State, GRAA Top 50, amongst other things that you do really well. Best Teacher of the Year 2018. We got a lot of things. Mike's a great instructor, and he's here going to show us a little bit about low point. That's something that a lot of you ask me about, and trying to get that low point more forward. So Mike's going to help us do that today. So Mike, thanks for having us.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's
cool.
Going to be fun.
Yeah, so a lot of people that I see, especially now with all the numbers coming out, you know, people are starting to see this number called low point, and they really have first they have a hard time understanding what that number means. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, low point, maybe how it differs with like an iron versus a wood, and then we'll talk a little bit about some best ways to get that done.
Yeah, so low point, it's probably one of the most important things you can look at as far as becoming a good ball striker. You'll see that all the best golfers have their low point, or where the club hits the ground, is usually a couple inches in front of the golf ball. And the poorest golfers, that's going to be either behind the golf ball, we're talking with irons now, behind the golf ball, or no low point, that's a thin shot or kind of on the way up. So probably the best way you can work on becoming a better ball striker is working on your low point and trying to get that number to be in front of the golf ball, or as TrackMan will put it, with an A, meaning ahead of the golf ball. Mm-hmm.
So same with an iron versus a driver?
Driver opposite. Driver, we want that launch coming up. We want to max that out. So we want our low point actually behind the golf ball a couple inches.
Okay.
All right.
So I see, and a lot of the questions I get is with irons. People struggle with those irons. So trying to get that low point forward. So let's say I'm a golfer here and I'm trying to get my low point forward. I tend to hit a little behind it or hit it thin, whatever. How am I going to best work on getting that low point forward?
So when I work with people that struggle with low point, the first thing I do is I try and get them to hit some punch shots.
Okay.
And get the feeling of what that would feel like. You know, like you're driving the ball low underneath some branches. Okay. You know, and the technique we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit more weight on our front.
Okay. So we're going to
get the ball kind of, weight on your lead leg. Okay. Ball's going to be centered, and just the feeling of that club driving down. A lot of times we'll put a tee or something a couple inches in front of them, thinking about swinging to that point. Is a good way to do it.
So it's going to look something. So I got to get my weight a little more forward, and we're talking a punch shot. You know, maybe back here.
That's it. Yeah.
And through to here.
Yeah, just something easy. Just trying to get them.
Okay.
Punching out there 30, 40 yards.
Okay.
Good.
We'll see.
So that was really good.
Yeah, 4.4 away. So that feeling of we're going to keep the club maybe lower longer.
Lower longer is a great thought.
As we go through, try to drive it through, and then keep it lower as well.
Right.
Now, why do you like doing it in that punch shot form?
Well, because a lot of people think that you, especially higher handicappers, think you need to get the ball up in the air, and that comes from scooping or hanging back. But when you get in a punch feel, you're going to feel like your body is more on top, your weight's forward. So you'll have about 90% of your weight on your lead leg as you're coming into impact. That helps keep that angle of attack and the low point moving forward.
Okay.
So I think that's a good way for people to kind of start and then build into a full swing, trying to copy that impact feel.
Okay. So if we want to step it up a little bit, okay, what type of feels are they going to need? You know, so if we're going to make it a little bit bigger swing, is their body going to start having to move a little bit to make this happen? Or
so eventually your body will move more, but I think a good way for people to get that low point in front is just to feel like there's more weight staying on your lead leg as you're coming back. So if you felt like you started with 65, 70% of your weight on your lead leg, and you made your turn, got to the top of your backswing, and then you shifted a little bit more lower body into that, maybe your belly button gets out on front of the golf ball a touch, your head's over the golf ball, that's going to make it easier for you to get that low point in front of the golf ball.
And so something interesting you just said there, I think that was interesting, is I see a lot of players that they go back, you know, and they go back and, you know, yeah, they sway back and stuff. But even if they stay centered, what a lot of them think about is they think about, you know, they think clear their hips, or they got to turn, or they got to spin, right? And so what they end up doing is they just spin from the top. And what you just said is, all right, if you want to get your low point forward, you got to get your belly button, you got to get your hips starting to go forward towards the target. And if you're spinning out, you're actually moving them backwards.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a death move.
So you're moving all your mass behind the golf ball, which is going to make the club bottom out behind the golf ball, leading to poor iron shots, added loft to the club face, you know, weak shots.
All of that stuff.
You know, low smashes, you know, so.
And I know I've talked about this with my students, but if you want to play better golf, you got to hit the ball at least somewhat close to the distance you expect to hit it. Like, you can hit it a little left or right, you know, and obviously you want to make that as straight as you can. But you got to, if you're planning on hitting it 150 yards, you can't hit it 100.
Right,
you know,
absolutely.
that's not going to get you. So you better get this low point dialed in so you can do that.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go a little bigger.
Give it a shot.
So we're going back. I'm going to see a little more centered. And I'm going to feel like I move my belly button, kind of moving forward.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see what we get.
Good.
That felt good. There we go.
That would be great. That would be exactly what you'd want.
And that's a pretty minimal effort, I would say, early here in the morning. That
couple swings in,
and that goes pretty far for you know, for me, for an 8-iron, which I get 160 out of it on a good day. So you're getting a lot of that distance out of it no matter what.
Absolutely.
So, very cool.
Yeah. So usually, like, if you get the low point right, you get a bunch of other things for free. Usually the dynamic loft is down, center contact is usually pretty good. So if you can work on that one number, a lot of these other numbers will start to improve as well. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think that's important, because people ask me about a lot of other numbers, right? Like, hey, what's my club face? What's my path? What's all that? It's like, well, if you hit the ground first, it's over.
Right.
You know, that stuff's going to be moving all over the place. You're not going to know what your number is.
For sure.
So, very cool. So, low point, extremely important number, one we want to work on and get as good as possible. That's a number right there. Thanks to Mike for helping us out. That's some things that you're going to want to think about to get that low point forward, strike it better, shoot lower scores. So, Mike, thanks for having us out.
Hey, enjoyed it.